Money alone does not bring security. I have met many people who have millions in their retirement accounts and still feel insecure. Why? Because it's money generated from their job or because they often have the money invested in a retirement account. But now little to nothing about the subject of investing. If that money disappears and their working days are over, what do they do then? In times of great economic change, there are always great transfer of wealth. Even if you do not have much money, it is important to invest in your education. For when the changes come, you will be better prepared for them. Don't be caught unaware and afraid. As I said, no one can predict what will happen, yet it is the best to be prepared for whatever happens, and that means getting educated now. Point number three, this is the pattern for financial freedom. This is the pattern of study my rich dad recommended. It is the path to financial freedom. This is a true financial freedom because in the B quadrant, people are working for you, and in the I quadrant, your money is working for you. You are free to work or not to work. Your knowledge in these two quadrants has brought you complete physical freedom from work. If you look at the ultra rich, this is their pattern in the quadrant. The loop around the B and the I signifies the income pattern of Bill Gates of Microsoft, Rupert Murdoch of News Corp, Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway, and the Ross Perot. A quick word of caution, the B quadrant is much different from the I quadrant. I have seen many successful Bs sell their business for millions and their newfound wealth goes to their head. They tend to think that their dollars are a measure of their IQ, so they swagger on down to the I quadrant and lose it all. The game and the rules are different in all of the quadrant, which is why I recommended education over ego. Just as in the case of financial security, having two quadrants give you greater stability in the world of financial freedom. A choice of path. There are the different financial path people can choose. Unfortunately, most people choose the path of job security. When the economy starts wobbling, they often cling more desperately to job security. They wind up spending their life there at a minimum. I recommended becoming educated in financial security, which is feeling confident about your job and feeling confident about your ability to invest in good times and in bad times. A big secret is that true investors make more money in bad market. They make their money because the non-investors are panicking and selling when they should be buying. That is why I am not afraid of the possible coming economic changes, because change means wealth is being transferred. Your boss cannot make you rich. The economic changes currently happening are partially from the sales and the mergers of company. Recently, a friend of mine sold his company. He put more than $15 million into his bank account. The day of the sale, his employees had to look for new jobs at the farewell party, which was filled with tears. There were also undercurrent of extreme anger and resentment, although he had paid them well for years. Most workers were no financial better off on their last day of work than they were on their first day of work. Many people realized that the owner of the company had gotten rich while they spent all those years collecting their paychecks and paying bills. The reality is, your boss job is not to make you rich. Your boss job is to make sure you get your paycheck. It is your job to become rich. If you want to, and that job begins the moment you receive your paycheck. If you have the poor money management skills, then all the money in the world cannot save you. If you budget your money wisely and learned about either the B or I quadrant, then you are on your own path to great personal fortune, most importantly, freedom. My rich dad used to say to his son and me, the only difference between a rich person or a poor person is what they do in their spare time. I agree with that statement. I realize that people are busier than ever before and free time is more and more precious. Yet, I would like to suggest that if you are going to be busy anyway, be busy on both sides of the quadrant. If you do that, you will have a better chance of eventually finding more free time and more financial freedom. When at work, work hard. Please do not read the Wall Street Journal on company time. Your boss will appreciate and respect you more. What you do after work with your paycheck and your spare time will determine your fortune. If you work hard on the left side of the quadrant, you will work hard forever. If you work hard on the right side of the quadrant, you have a chance of finding freedom. The path I recommended. I am often asked by people on the left side of the quadrant, what would you recommend? I recommend the same path by Rich Dad recommended to me, the same path that people like Ross, Parrott, Bill Gates, and other people, the path look like this. I occasionally receive this complaint, but I rather be an investor, to which I reply, then go to the I quadrant. If you have plenty of money and lots of free time, go straight to the I quadrant. But if you don't have an abundance of time and money, the path I recommend is safer. In most cases, people do not have an abundance of time or money, so they then ask another question: why do you recommend the P quadrant first? This discussion usually takes an hour or so, which I will not go into here, but I will summarize my reason in the next few lines. Number one, experience and education. If you are first successful as a B, you will have a better chance of developing into the powerful I. I invest in B. If you first develop a solid business sense, you can become a better investor. You will be better able to identify other goods B. True investors invest in successful Bs with a stable business system. It is risky to invest in a E or S who does not know the difference between a system and a product or who lack excellent leadership skills. Cash flow. If you have a business that is up and running, you then should have the free time and cash flow to support the ups and downs of the I quadrant. Many times I meet people, the ES quadrant, who are so tied on cash they could not afford to take any kind of financial loss, one market swing, and they are wiped out financially because they operate financially at red line. The reality is investing is capital and knowledge intensive. Sometimes it takes lots of capital and time to gain that knowledge. Many successful investors have lost many times before winning. Successful people know that success is a poor teacher. Learning comes from making mistakes. And in the I quadrant, mistakes cost money. If you lack both knowledge and capital, it's financial suicide to try to become an investor. By developing the skills of becoming a good B, first, you will also be providing the cash flow necessary to move on to becoming a good investor. The business you develop as a B will provide the cash to support you or you as you gain the education to become a good investor. Once you have gained the education to become a successful investor, you will understand how I can say it does not always take money to make money.